Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European Indices for the 27th of February, and starting with the S&P 500 here. The Christmas rally, as I call it, this move through here, we think that we've got a top in play here now, so we're looking for a pullback. Now, I've got it from wave 1 to wave 2 here. It can also, if I've got another bullish count that can bring it pretty much back to the wave 4 of one lesser degree. So these are two basic targets that I won't really go into a lot at the moment, but I'm showing this because if we do start moving down here, then it's obviously going to pull down the European markets as well. Now with the European markets, we can look at some of the markets. The mid cap here has moved up nicely in the Christmas run as well. It does look like it wants to make another new high here. I haven't pulled that apart here. It's a bit difficult on the intraday with this, but it has rallied reasonably well, and there has been other European markets that have rallied well as up well. The Netherlands is another one as well, so it's rallied well up here as well. But most of the European markets have been quite doggish, really, moving to the upside, and the counts for those moves to the upside too are not very clean and tidy. So with the DAX here, let's just go back to the daily chart here. We can see that the move up here has moved up, but it hasn't moved up like the S&P and so forth. So we've got a couple of counts with all of this, and I know it doesn't make it any easier, but what will make it a bit easier is this number. Well, I call it the medium level here, 11,500, because in a nutshell, once we get the market's arrived here, once we get a sort of a decent high in here and a decent low in here, then that's going to give us the catalyst to go short or go long here as well. We'll be able to refine that a bit, but we'll be able to use this number as support or resistance to be long or short. That's the trick that we'll use in terms of trading, because the move up here, if we line this up here with the US markets, then we can look at this as wave 1 here and pulling back for a wave 2 within this space here. But there is counts for this where we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here. That fits quite nicely, which would also leave this as wave 3 going to the upside here and continuing to move up through here. So whichever way this market goes, we'll capture it, but we just need to be a bit patient, and we need to be a bit of an owl on the fence looking for a worm, so a mouse rather. So yeah, look, let's go in and talk about this, and we'll have a look at a few counts. Now, the other point here to make too, the UK market is doing something sort of it's the same trend, but it's doing something sort of completely different, so we need to approach that different. But the CAC, the DAX and the MIB are all kind of on track in this particular trend here. So one of the things, I'll just use the CAC to explain this here, is one of the things I was looking at was that, from, if we line the market up with the US, we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and we're counting to the upside, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, nice strong third wave here for the fourth wave and the fifth wave, and we'll count in the waves up here as 1 and 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third and the fourth here, and then that can actually just come across a little bit here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So, but now we've got this extra wave in here. So I thought we'd just have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 5 waves up here for wave 5, but we've got this extra wave in here that doesn't look completed either. It looks like we've gone up for 1 and back for 2 and 3 and coming back for 4 here, and we'll go up for wave 5 coming in here. So we've got this extra structure in here of five waves here. So have I made a mistake? I've pulled this apart. I can't see where I've made a mistake within this structure here. So that means, in terms of counting all these little waves in here, so that means that I've made a mistake in this bigger picture here. So one of the ways that I could count this to make it work okay is just go to the 2-hour chart here. It still have wave 4 here. but have this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then all of this here, the third wave here, so it'd be 1 and 2 here, and the third wave all the way up into this space here of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, the third and fourth and fifth. So that would actually even give us, after this one completes, it would give us another one here and another one here. So really, we don't want to be short in this market unless we've got 5,200 as the resistance here for the French market here. Yeah, so with the MIB, actually, the MIB's interesting because, let me just bring the MIB up. So with the MIB, we've got the extra wave in here as well, but I can count it within here of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And just to sort of clarify that, if we go to the, because it's a bit messy there, but if I go to the physical market, so I can look at this this low here, so this will be 3 and 4 here, and then this would make it 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4, and going up for 5 here that's not finished. So when I look at the cash market, then it counts quite nicely here. So that's how I've labeled it here. So I'm wondering, you know, if you know, we should label the European markets like this as well. I mean, for this market while we're here, if it breaks this trend line here, then we can be short from there. And also with trend lines too, if it comes down and bounces off it, which it should do, go through, come back and test it, then that's the safer trade, taking that low out of that point there. Okay, so just bear that in mind. If the 500 here becomes the support, so the market, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then there'll be a little ABC correction, and then the market move up. So you can go above this high here, and then also add on this one here as well. So that's how you would handle Italy at that particular point. So that brings us back to, if I come back to France here, then it's possible that if I did the same with the MIB, then it would make this the high here, and we would come straight down from this point here. So, but like I said, we'd be short under the 5.2 for this particular market. So when it comes to the DAX here, then we need to have tactics for this. So yeah, let's see what I've done here. So this is one count here. It's logical. So we can look at wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we're going up for the third wave, which would be wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the third and the fourth and the fifth wave here. So in this case, we would come back to the 11,400 area here before pushing up here again. So that's on the cards. The other count here, I know this is really confusing and it's a bit tricky, but the other count would be having wave 4 here. This would be pretty much in line with the US, but you know, I've got the US also topped out as well. So wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and all of this, the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave for the third here, the fourth wave pulling back, and then the fifth wave up here, and then moving down in a larger ABC pattern here. We could look at the 11,000 at that point. So yeah, we're just going to have to be a little bit mindful with all of this. So with the DAX here, I'm thinking that I think there's one more little high to come in here, by the way. So I think we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 into here somewhere. So the market's going to come down and bounce off the 11,500. This is going to be, the 11,500 is the balance line. So so an A and a B and a C here. So once that low comes in, and you'll only know it's come in when it comes back and retests here, because it can come back here, retest, and then fail here. So that's what we're looking for here. So we're not shorting it at that particular price point. It's wherever that low is. So you will need to make adjustments for that. Once it comes in, you'll find it and you'll put it back in that space there. And then that will give you a safer trade to the short side, because you're fighting a bull market, and if you're going to do that, then you really need a strong trade setup for that. And this is one of the strongest that I know of, and it's strong because it's in line with the volume price action. So yeah, so that's why I know that, you know, the price is just really a shadow of the volume. So yeah, so that's sort of where that is. The UK market, okay, the FTSE here, it's already it's been edging lower through here, and this is the count that, you know, I've duplicated this from the US markets as well. I know that it could be counted differently here, and it's possible that there's a wave 4 here as well, and that would make this an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point as a wave 4, but still would be on the same pathway here. We'd still be looking for the short trades here. In a nutshell, we wanted to be short, you know, I like the number 72, so would want to be short below, well, the 72 is resistance, and, you know, we have to ask ourselves, is that resistance there? And it is, isn't it? Because it's come up and tested it here, hit the supply, come back down, and really quite polished it off nice and neatly here. So yeah, we should have a couple of short trades in this market. I know we had one over here as well, not a big deal, and we've been bringing the stop down from this one to this one to this one. This does look a little bit bullish here. Also too, this move down through here, it's not really showing a nice impulse wave to the downside. It's more corrective, but we can't turn bullish unless we've got support on top of the 7,200. You'd just be pushing a wheelbarrow uphill. It's just not worth it. So if this becomes the support, then the balance and the speed of the market will pick up from that point. Otherwise, we're just going to drift lower here. So I don't know how to count this. I don't know if it's a series of ones and twos to the... I mean, it could certainly be bullish corrective, but we're not going to fight the market until we know... you know, if the S&P rolls over, then it's definitely going to affect the other markets. And, you know, there's a lot going on this week in the US in terms of you know, Trump's all these rubbish, you know. So anything could come out of the box, really, out of the gate. So but yeah, look, we'll just leave it at that. I'll still want to leave the stop above this. If you want to, and this does look a little bit bullish here, if this top is taken out here, then perhaps reduce your position by 50% at that stage. Let's just check. I just want to check on something else while I'm here. Yeah, well, that's handy, isn't it? Because that makes it, this is any sort of rally into here. I mean, we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming down here, and that would leave us with, I'm only guessing here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave into this space, and then down from here. Just don't have a nice setup just yet. If this does drop lower through here, if the 71 becomes the retested resistance, then we want to be short from that space there as well. All right, well, look, that's it. It's not very clear at this stage. We haven't seen the European markets roll over. We are seeing the S&P roll over. If I just go back to the S&P 500 here for a second, I'll just take you through that, save you watching the other video. So we're counting 5 waves up, wave 3, 4, and 5 here. And we were looking for 5 waves up, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we think there's a top in play here. So we're just looking for short trade setups within this space here. So on the hourly chart here, once again, if the market moves back up above the 2800 here, then we'll look at long positions. But otherwise, we'll look at short positions coming into here. So if I take this little area through, we've got 5 waves here. So after a correction here, we should see another 5 waves. So that will bring us down into the 2772 area here. But this is where it could bounce back up. We don't have a 5 wave structure down. So what I mean by that is that if this market moves here, we've got 5 here, so we know that it'll pull back to the 61.8% mark and then move down here. But that would only give us 3 waves down, wouldn't it? So the market could go up that way at that stage if I was wrong, and that would make that bullish corrective and we'll go for another 5 waves up. So that's possible. So until we get 5 waves down, which would be the 1, the 2, the 3rd wave coming down, which would probably be a little bit lower here, 4th wave and 5th wave here. So once we get 5 waves down, then we know that we're on the right track. So then we would look for an ABC pattern, and then we'll see another 5 waves down at that point. If we get 5 here, we'll get 5 over here. So it's just a matter of edging through. This little space over here, by the way, if I just bring this over to the, this is a tick chart and it's only 20 ticks. Normally we look at 100, but yeah, so from down the top here, we can look at it as wave 1 or wave A. So we can look at that. We can look at it as wave A here, wave B here, or wave 2. So this move that's coming down through here is in 5 waves. It's a little bit, I haven't bothered counting it, but I know every trend and every correction's got a beginning, a middle and an end. So we can see that the strong point is in here somewhere. So we've either got 1 and 2 and all the way down for 3rd, 4th of it. So we're very close to a low. It can come a little bit lower, but what we're actually looking for here is that we're looking for a rally here. So we're looking for, that can come down to probably about here somewhere. So we're looking for this to finish off here and come and retest back up here. Once that moves up there, then we can put this green line here in on the low here. So that's what we can do there. So yeah, that's it. Down for 1, come back for 2, and then down for 3. So that will give us, wherever that low is, you put that under there and that's it. You could also, if that was this leg here coming down through here, the move up would be an A and a B and a C wave here. So we're looking at taking this low out. You can go through like that there as well in this instance. So yeah, that will keep you safe there. Okay, cheers.